No, he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I don't know about you. Yeah, yeah, you got to speak for yourself. Because every day, well, how many birthday months birthday every month?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. We in the building. We in the building. We back. We back. Y'all know what it is. We back. This ain't nothing but yours truly, King Sam. What we got going on here is the Let's Get To It podcast. And y'all are the go getters. Let's go. Let's go. We back in business, Baltimore. It's Sunday. Football came on. I ain't watched much of it. I seen the Redskins took an L by 1 point though. Uh yeah, it's Sunday, y'all. You know, I connected with C. Terrell Scott, big dog. I connected with Marcellus Harris, big dog. I connected with who else I connect with? Of course, yours truly. I connected also with Eric Davis, Big E, Elise Pro. Good week. It was a good week, y'all. I can't complain at all. And yeah, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. I want to just talk about what was going on today. I was trying to set up like a Zoom. We couldn't do that. And find out how to get the Zoom up to YouTube. Me and C. Terrell Scott couldn't figure it out. We tried to do it over the Video Ninja. We was almost in there, but we had already been at it for like 3 hours. So, whoa, we had to sit down He had to get something to eat. I had to take a pause for the cause, and I said no mas, no mas. I ain't want no more. And whoo, sometimes, man, it ain't easy being cheesy out here, man. I'm trying to put this stuff together. I was trying to figure out if I could, instead of hooking my Mixcast up to my laptop, I was trying to hook it up to the A7 IV. No go. It wouldn't work. So that didn't work. I was trying to see if I could somehow get this all in one to make it sound all crispy and clear together, because I'm still working on the audio. As you can tell, it's getting better. I'm figuring out ways. If y'all see this, y'all get in the chat, say what's up. Send me a shout out, man. Let me know. Engage with the page. Y'all know what my usual saying. Engage with the page. It was a good week this week, man. Made it through. You know, most of the bills got paid. And that's what count. You know, every first of the month, if you anything like me, your mortgage due, your rent due, most of the bulk of your bills due. And you know, we scrape, we scratch, we struggle and strive to make ends meet out here. I ain't wealthy. I ain't super wealthy. I ain't terrible with money either, but I ain't super wealthy. And I just wanted to get into a little bit of conversation with y'all. First and foremost, I did get to talk to Marcellus Harris and congratulate him for winning a city council election race. He sounded in good spirits. He was telling me a lot of stuff they got going on. And I think he had an event that he went to last night. I can't think of the guy's name, but he's like a money mogul. I was like, oh, my stars. B2, rubbing shoulders with the man, I think that man close to a billionaire. So I say he rubbing shoulders with the elite, And I'm proud of him. Because like I say, you know, just from playing football with him, growing up, going to high school with him, joking around, oh man, we used to have each other dying laughing in class. I think we had the home ec class together. And man, all we used to do was laugh and joke. And our teacher, man, we had people in stitches in class, man. Even the teacher be rolling laughing, man. It was me, him, Jamal Bellamy. I think Sean Sneed was in our class. And who else? It was one more person, Nick. Nick was in our class. And yeah, Nick Hicks. We had fun, man. I forget the teacher name. She was a black teacher. I can't remember her name to save my life. But yeah, it was good times. Then we was on the football team for a couple years together. And he used to have me dying laughing, man. But yeah, big shout out. Let's give it up for B2 Marcellus Harrison, y'all. Marcellus Harris. Yeah. What I wanted to talk about today is just, you know, life in itself, man. How sometimes you meet, it's good people out here in this world. It's good people. And you got people that, you know, come through with their COVID mask on. You can't tell what's going on behind the mask. So it's like, how do you discern who's who in this world? You really can't. You can't. Because you'll go through your experiences in life and people come up with new ways to present themselves to you in the fashion that they want to see, that they want you to see. So it's like, as much as you try, to your dismay, people gonna be other than what they appear to be. And I don't think there's no way of getting around that. I don't think you need to hide in the closet. And well, that's the bad term. No Diddy. I don't think you need to isolate yourself from everybody just because people aren't who they say they are or aren't who they seem to be or present themselves. That's just life. That's just life. What you can do to negate that is let me move this out the way. It's casting a shadow. Move that back just a taste. Matter of fact, I'll move you on the ground. Hold on, y'all. Let me find somewhere for this. Let me find somewhere. I had it over here anyway. So let me set that thing back over here. Now, what I was gonna say, just a life hack. A life hack. Stay on course. Don't try to get caught up in somebody else's life. Stay on course. And if when you do open up and meet people and you come across certain situations, if they do align with what you got going on or your path, you know, then you could kind of see what y'all could come together on. You know, you see where you can help somebody else out, because it ain't all about having your hand out trying to get something in this world. Sometimes you got to be the one offering. You got to do the giving. A lot of people they don't like to give. They don't like to give, but you're supposed to have a giving spirit. A giving spirit, and it ain't necessarily you give to receive. You give because that's the love in you. That's the love that, if you believe in God, that's the love that God placed in your heart. That's the humanity, that's the compassion. That's the empathy. That's the connection we have. If you have, you give, you share. Even if it's not monetary, you share your knowledge, you share your experience, you share your time. That's how we unite. It ain't all about what somebody else could do for you. Because if you're looking for somebody else to do something for you all the time, you become a black hole. You a black hole. Everything going into you, but you ain't giving nothing back. Nah, that ain't how life works. You shouldn't even look at things like that. And when you start to look at things like that, that's a sign of selfishness. Selfishness. And I know a lot of people will be like, man, I can't think about nobody. You have to. You have to. You have to care about others outside of yourself. You have to. That's what the world missing right now. Everybody doing them. That ain't what it's about. That ain't what it's about. That's when you stepping outside of who you are as a person. We all connected. If it won't nothing but you in this world, how that'll work out? You wouldn't be able to enjoy life because you wouldn't have any amenities of life because you can't produce it all by yourself. We all a team, y'all. As much as we hate to admit it, as much as people act as contrary to each other, as much as we are divided, as much as we see the worst in everybody else and don't see the worst in ourselves, we all connected in some shape, form, or fashion, whether you want to know it or not. No matter how you see people or not, you're connected. You're connected. You got the same pulse of life within you. So it's like people need to tighten up. People need to tighten up. Tighten up on your backstroke every chance you get. And I got a story. Slight story. It ain't nothing big. I've said it many times before. I've been incarcerated. And I did time in the state. I also did time in the federal system. The the FBOP, Federal Bureau of Prisons. And I was in Georgia, in Atlanta. They had me also in Matthews County. I was in Chesapeake. I was in North Carolina and Butler. And they had me in South Carolina and Williamsburg. When I was in South Carolina, it was a lot of people from Charleston. And I myself had never been to Charleston. Now, each state each city got their own way of talking, their own culture, their own way of interacting with each other. And being from Newport News, I never been to Charleston. I've been to Florida. I've been to New York. I've been to Jersey. Where else I've been? That's about it. I have been to Carolina, but that was later on in life. I never met anybody like that. I never met a group of people who communicated, and it was a lot of, I guess, they had that Geechee slang about themselves, and I didn't accept it. I looked at them as different, and I ain't gonna say I was hating, but I used to kind of look at them like, man, what's wrong with y'all? You know, certain situations they put their head down, and you know, I don't want to make this about race or nothing, but you know, some of them guys, they'll see somebody that's white coming by and they put their head down, and I was like, man, what's this all? Well, they tripping out here. And I remember one time as a disciplinary, they had these little patch of grass in the middle of the yard with sticker briars in it. And as a disciplinary, you know, punishment, they had me out there like picking the weeds out the grass, and I ain't know it was like pickleball stickers in there. And I'm pricking my finger. I'm like, yo, hold on, man. What y'all got me out? I snapped. And it was a black sergeant that had me doing it. And, you know, she used to talk to me all the time. And she didn't like me, but I think she just liked communicating with me at times. So she found it funny. She laughing, and I'm like, man, what's funny about this? This got too much similarities to picking cotton. Like, I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand it. And I just went off. I was like, man, y'all take me to the hole, man. I ain't doing this no more. Y'all got me messed up. Like, I can't believe you would sign off on something like this, or you found this entertainment. Ain't nothing entertaining about this. This is crazy. Like, nah, if y'all gonna put me in a hole, put me in a hole. I'd rather be in a hole than be on a yard and be subject to this. No, sir. And I can't believe that me and you communicate and you found that this was entertaining or funny or some sort. You know what? Don't talk to me no more. I was mad. I was pissed. I was hot. And then it was just like, you know, some of the interactions that I have with the people from South Carolina. You know, the guys, they rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. You know, it wasn't no real big altercations, a couple flare-ups here and there. And in my mind state, I was like, man, I never move, or I never want to go to South Carolina. Never. So fast forward, you know, I'm talking to my grandfather and just asking questions about my past, like where he come from, where my grandmother come from. Lo and behold, both of them come from Charleston, South Carolina. And I felt crazy because I built up this animosity or this contention in my heart for South Carolina, specifically Charleston. And the whole time, that's where my roots are, in Charleston, specifically South Carolina. And it just made me feel, I felt ashamed to have felt that way about South Carolina and the people from South Carolina. I felt terrible because I say, here I am looking at them like they other than me. And the whole time, this is where my people's from. This is who I am. And it made me feel terrible. I can't even put it in words. Like, it shook my spirit, like to my core. I felt terrible because I love my grandmother. I love my grandfather. I'm like, those are the people in my eyes that can't do no wrong. So when I found out that both of them was not just one of them, but both of them from that area, that specific area, I felt my heart drop because I said, man, I shouldn't have been that, objected or, looked at them in that fashion. I shouldn't have. I should have been more open. And, in that moment, man, it gave me a chance to reflect and sit back and think about, how you see people, how you view people, the grace that you give people. And that's why I was saying sometimes you can't just judge people automatically. You got to give people some grace. People do come, other than themselves. They present themselves in a certain way, and they the total opposite. But at the same token, you still got to give grace because you don't know your connection. It goes back to that connection. Like, as different as we think we are, is a connection there. Is a connection there. And that's something that I think we should think about and carry with us. Because, like, I think we just sometimes look for reasons to hate on each other. To hate on each other. Sometimes people they feel alive when they got hate in their heart. When they got some sort of opposition. And sometimes you gotta scale that back. Because just because you feel a certain way don't make it true. It don't make it true just because I felt like that about them, that I felt different in them. I felt like, why they act like this. It couldn't have been further than the truth from I'm actually one of them. My people's actually from where they from. I probably had more similarities to them than, things that we didn't have in common. So, I just wanted to share that. And, just talking to B2, man, it was like, another, just like when I was talking to Kiel, it's like a breath of fresh air, man. Over time, you grow apart from people and you don't know how impactful they were in your life, how much they may have meant to you until you like reconnect with them. And sometimes, like, especially in today's day, we get so divided, so separated from each other that I don't think we get a chance to appreciate each other as we should. And that ain't no good thing. That ain't no good thing because it's a community, whether you're on this side of the tracks or that side of the tracks. Like, we both need each other. We both need each other. Like, that's just life. That's just life. You looking for an enemy, but sometimes the enemy is within. You fighting against yourself, really. Some of the frustrations you got that you project on the others, they really stem from what's inside. And I think we try to put a face on it by looking outside of ourselves when the real problem really is something that we got unresolved within our own self. So like I was saying, I think we gotta give a little bit of grace out here, especially now, because everybody wants the same thing. Everybody want a little bit of extra to take care of their family. Everybody want a good job. Don't nobody want to work super hard don't nobody want to do extra work for less pay. Nobody. No matter what race, what ethnic group you are, everybody want an opportunity to thrive. Everybody want to eat good. Everybody want to travel. Everybody want to have everybody want to be in a good neighborhood. Who don't? Everybody got the same. Everybody want to breathe some oxygen. That's what it is. Like, if I cut you, you gonna bleed. If you cut me, I'ma bleed. we get wrapped up in our individual situations, and I don't think we really get a chance to really think about what's going on with the next person in their situation. You thinking about your bills and what you gotta pay, and you don't get to look outside yourself and say, man, he got some bills too over there. He got some kids too over there. You know, he got he got a whole situation over there. She got a whole situation over there that she trying to, you know, stand on hers about too. So I think, you know, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you can't connect with everybody, but that don't mean you can't give them grace. You know, like I seen a video. I think I came up here and talked about it the other day, and I got more information on it. Like one of my favorite rap groups back in the day was Black Moon. Black Moon. Buckshot Shorty changed his name to the BDI MC. You know, he had a lot of hits back in the day. Who got the props? Buck 'em Down. And I think he had the Buck 'em Down remix. Dope artist. Like I said, I grew up on Black Moon. I grew up on Boot Camp Click. I grew up on Helter Skelter. I know the younger generations, they might not know it, but if you was born anywhere, I guess I was born in 77. So if you was born in 77 or probably like 84, you might remember some of them songs. And to see him get beat down like that and get swole up like that, you know, I found out that the dude beat him up because he was saying Buckshot snitched on his people and he was on his people paperwork. And I was like, I get it, but how you go from here to there? I get it, but what's the whole situation? Is you the one that be whooping up on Buckshot or calling him out? Like, I get it. With a compassion at, don't. With a compassion at. And it's been moments in my life where I could have shown more compassion. Could have been given more grace. So I ain't saying that, you know, all the problems of the world fall on him for doing that, but sometimes we do gotta have more compassion. We do gotta show more grace, because you done put hands and feet on that man. What if he would have passed away? Like, was it worth it? Like, what's the situation with him and your brother? They was breaking law. They was breaking law. So what honor is it amongst thieves, really? Like, you know, you holding somebody to a certain code, and if he was with them, they was breaking the law. So you outside of the laws of honor anyway, so ain't no honor given. Like, if you breaking the law, you doing crime, you already on the other side of goodness anyway. You ain't righteous, no way. So how you gonna try to gather righteousness out of the unrighteous? Like, you asking for the unthinkable. Like, you ain't gonna never get that. So it was like, I get it. Some people, they got a mean streak in them, but wouldn't you want some grace in a situation? And I understand that man might have been following you, but it ain't like you ain't instigate that situation. You instigated that situation. So you started that whole, if you was with your mama and you felt like, you know, why he talking to me? Why you even say you was with your mama before you opened up your mouth and start talking crazy? So, you know, I guess after it's said and done, you know, we splitting hairs over what's right and wrong, but the right thing would be to, you know, give a little bit of extra compassion if you can. If you can afford somebody a little bit more grace. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's what I wanted to get off my chest today, because I've been in situations to where people have shown me compassion. Give you a quick story, then I'm gonna wrap it up. Eddie Neal, one of my good friends, saved my life one time. And I really needed to give it up for Eddie Neal. I'm gonna get a story up. a situation that happened with my brother and one of his friends, Tyvan. They had got into it and jumped this dude named Myron Higgs. We grew up with Myron Higgs. They from Dickinson Court, I think. And man, I didn't know what happened. I'm in school. One of them same guys that I mentioned earlier, Sean Sneed, was talking to, oh man, we got to get your brother in Tyvan. I said, what you talking about? Get my brother. You know that's my brother. What you mean? They jumped Myron. I said, what? What happened? Oh, they jumped Myron because they was in middle school at the time in the 8th grade. And I was like, hold on. That's still my brother. You talk about, oh, we coming out there. And he was trying to separate himself from the situation, but he was a part of the situation. And we were good friends before that. But after that, I couldn't understand him. And I think that kind of severed our friendship because I was like, at the end of the day, that is my brother. I would never approach you asking for permission to beat up your brother. Like, that sound crazy. And I wasn't with it. But sure enough, later on that day, it was night. A lot of guys started coming from Dickinson Court, really circle. And at first it was like 5 of them. So I was like, yeah, between me, Doc, Tyvan, man, we can handle 5. You know, we might get whooped, but we might win too. So I went back and was like, man, there's only 5 on. Come on. So they didn't want to come out. They stuck by the door. So I'm out there, 5 turned to 10. 10, 15. Next thing I know, I'm surrounded by like 20 plus guys. And I'm seeing handguns. At the time, I think I was like 15 years old. I'm seeing handguns, baseball bats. I'm like, oh no, what I do? Like, I say, man, I just, you know, I wasn't fearful in the moment, but I was like, I recognized that I was in a bad situation. And, you know, things slowed down. And I was just prepared for fight or flight. And I didn't know how it would turn out. I was just waiting for what happened next. And Sean Sneed, he was in there talking crazy. And, you know, just the day before, we was almost best friends. He was one of my good friends. I'd have been over this man's house playing Super Nintendo and everything. Like, I met Mike Vick through Sean Sneed. So, you know, I couldn't understand it. And they were getting closer and closer. I was in the middle of the circle that they had me surrounded in. And out of nowhere, Eddie Neal came, put his arm around me. He was like, man, Sam, my friend, I ain't gonna let y'all do this to him. Y'all do this to him, y'all gotta do this to me. And just like that, people started dispersing. And I can't thank that man more because it could have got ugly for me. I thank him every time I see him, I bring that situation up. And me and Eddie was good friends. We had a lot of classes together. We played football together. I used to go over his house and play the Sega Genesis all the time. John Madden football when it first came out. And like Eddie had been my friend for a long time. Even before high school, before I left to New Jersey, I was friends with Eddie. So I was just thankful that, you know, he stepped up to save me. He showed me compassion in that moment because he could have allowed the worst situation to take place. And like I said, sometimes you got to show grace. You got to extend compassion instead of, you know, putting your foot on people's neck. Sometimes you could, you know, choose the other route and allow people to live. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. Again, you know the platform is your big homie, King Sam. This is Let's Get To It. And I'm here with the go-getters. Let's go. Let's go. And we back in business. We ain't never going out of business again, y'all. And I'm going to wrap it up with that. So let me find everything. Take us out of here with the same beat we came in with. Y'all know.